So looking back at historical photos, the French casquette, or the peaked cotton cycling cap, used to don the heads of cycling greats. Riders like Eddy Merckx, Greg LeMond, Miguel Indurain, Bernardino. But if you look at cycling podium photos now, the cycling cap is gone and instead it's been replaced by the trucker cap of all things. How did this happen? To understand what happened, first we have to take a leap back in time to see what cyclists used to wear on their heads. Looking at the photos from the first Tour de France ride in 1903, it looks more like a tweed ride than a modern cycling race. The headgear of cyclists back then was the traditional flat cap. In fact, the first ever winner of the Tour de France, Maurice Guerin, often sported a signature white flat cap. Quick side note, in the opening scene of the 1980s movie Quicksilver, a young Nelson Vales, the first African-American to medal in cycling in the Olympics, can be seen sprinting throughout New York City streets wearing a reddish beret slash flat cap looking thing, as well as the lead actor Kevin Bacon. Was this a knowing nod to cycling history or just questionable fashion choices? We will never know. While a flat cap did its job of keeping the sun out of the rider's eyes, it wasn't ideal. It was big, it was bulky, it wasn't very aerodynamic. The cycling cap as we know it is said to have risen in popularity in the 1950s. Not only did it offer protection from sun, rain, and the elements, but it provided the perfect space to slap on a sponsor logo. That's capitalism, baby. Aside from having these sponsor names all over press photos, it also gave the chance for the tifosi, that's the plebs, you and me, the fans, a chance to participate and feel part of the team by buying our own cycling caps. The next few decades would provide some iconic moments in bike race history, with the ubiquitous small build cap being an ever constant feature. Ultimately, however, what brought the end to the cycling cap era was safety. In 1991, the UCI first tried to make helmets mandatory during the Paris-Nice race, but were met with a rider strike. The UCI eventually backed down. But it wasn't until 2003, after the death of Andrei Kivlev at Paris-Nice, the same race where the riders originally held a strike, did the rules start to have some teeth. However, even at that, there was a provision for cyclists to remove their helmets if the stage ended with a climb and it was the last 5K of the stage. As helmet use became mandatory, fewer riders wore cycling caps. Some still did, but it was essentially the end of that era. For a time, cyclists would still wear the traditional cycling cap on the podium, but in modern times, even the podium cycling cap has been replaced with the trucker cap, mostly because it has more real estate for sponsor logos. The question remains, should you stop wearing cycling caps because the pros don't wear them all that often anymore? Of course not. Cycling caps are still great for blocking the sun from your eyes, the rain from your eyes, the bugs from your eyes. If you're bald or you have thinning hair, they provide some sun protection for your scalp. They also act as a layer to absorb sweat, so that sweat just doesn't drip into your eyes. And also during those shoulder seasons or those colder months, they provide a nice layer of insulation. And if you guys are looking for a cycling cap, may I suggest ours? Instead of a big gaudy logo, we have this very small and demure logo. Our cap has mesh paneling on the side, as well as quick dry nylon on the top. The brim is also slightly larger than your traditional cycling cap, so it's a little bit more effective at blocking out the sun and the rain. On the rear is this elastic bungee that offers a lot of adjustability to fit most heads. And lastly, this cap is made for us in Japan with high quality materials. Check out the store link below, and if you guys enjoyed this video, you know what to do. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And as always, keep the supple side down.